Thank you very much. Namaskar to everybody. That's the traditional Indian greeting, which is a good morning, good evening, and a good night altogether. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Amit Tuteja and the Connecting Dreams Foundation for taking this great initiative forward, which is building on our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji's initiative, where we are holding the G20 presidency. And I think the Prime Minister's vision was not just to make it into a regular G20 presidency, but to take it. And a number of tracks are running in this presidency, and two particular tracks, in fact, are involved in this, which is the youth track and the civil society track. And interestingly, I think Amit was successful in convincing, along with other senior policymakers, that we need to make this into a global event, and not into a global event beyond the G20, but also engage with the global South countries. Today is, of course, our 77th Independence Day, like the previous speaker mentioned. And India, when it started off in 1947, perhaps was a plural civilization. It has more religions, more ethnicities, more languages, more dialects than just about any country on earth. And at that time, the definite thinking was globally, I think most political scientists, most thinkers were fairly certain that India will not succeed. India will balkanize, India will break up, because India not only decided to be independent, but India also decided to be a democratic country. And interestingly, it's 77 years, and we are now, in fact, on the anvil in the next 5 to 7 years, becoming $1 trillion economy. We have done this on the backbone of democracy. We have done this on the backbone of a strong civil society. We have done this on the backbone of a bureaucracy which is still making change happen and is producing world-class sectors. We have a world-class IT sector. We have a world-class space sector. We are now, in fact, world leaders in 5G technologies. But the other side is, and this is, I think, again, something which India is facing, and perhaps other global South countries will face too, is we are facing unprecedented, dynamic, compressed change which is being unleashed on traditional societies. So all of a sudden, in the last 5 years, we witnessed more change than perhaps in the last 50 years. And this rate of change is definitely going to accelerate. This is something which I think even a thinker like Alvin Toffler called future shock. But I think 21st century, the millennia has begun with a future shock. We started with COVID, and we are already experiencing dramatic climate catastrophe. I don't think it's change anymore. We are seeing technologies which we never even thought 3 years back would succeed, like generative AI. And all these technologies are in fact converging together and of course creating a ubiquitous planet, but driven by a traditional paradigm, which is, again, I guess, more invented at the time of the 20th century. So I think there is definitely a requirement, a necessity for the world to come together. And I think the youth is the driving force which can make it happen, to take institutions and structures and remold them to these challenges of the 21st century. And I think, of course, India, I think, will play a vital role, because we combine world-class sectors with of course, still the traditional challenges of poverty and gender equality and climate change. And of course, how India is going to put it all together, I think, is again going to be a laboratory of change. And I would welcome that the Changemakers Forum, in fact, becomes a permanent institutional platform where we can integrate these youth, integrate the experiments to doing, the initiatives they're carrying out, and we create a platform which is sustainable and renewable as it goes along, in, of course, achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you very much. And as the host institution in India, we are more than happy to partner with Amit and the Connecting Dreams Foundation, and a very, very big welcome to all of you across the world. Again, a namaskar, a good morning, good evening, and good night. Thank you.